Hello and welcome to More of a Six. I want to take a quick moment to thank you guys for the support on our last episode where we casted a range of Premier League predictions. If you missed that, be sure to check it out. Just click on the bio, whichever site you're watching or listening to this on. Today, we're going to continue looking ahead to the new Premier League season, as each of the lads are going to act as chief scouts for me and select one signing for each Premier League club, a signing that they need to make by the end of the window to strengthen their squad and their prospects next season. So I'm going to introduce all the lads separately as we start, but here's how it's going to work. So I'm going to play the role of sporting director, and for every club, you boys will be suggesting a player that you think they need to sign. So you're going to act as my chief scouts. And a little plot twist that I didn't tell you about when we were planning this episode is that you will all get 1 point for every player of yours that I pick. Whoever has the most points at the end of the episode will be the winner.
It's competitive now. It's competitive. I like it.
How strong of a debate you put forward, how fitting that player is for the club, and how desperately the club need a player in that position. And so with that admin out of the way, I think we should just get stuck straight in. We're going in alphabetical order for the listeners. So that means, of course, we start with Arsenal. Arteta's Gunners have brought in Martin Zubimendi, Kepa, Norgard, Madueke, Mosquera and Gyökeres so far this summer. They've spent around 180 million. But who do they need to bring in to strengthen a potential title challenge? We're going to start with you, Kyle.
Well, when looking through the Arsenal squad, unfortunately, it just is a really strong squad. So it's quite difficult to kind of figure out, where they needed improving. But I went with their strongest link that they've had over the last couple of weeks, which a few of you on here will not be too pleased to hear me say. But I do think they should sign Eze, purely because he can play off the left. He is a clear improvement from Martinelli, Trossard, Madueke if he was to play off of the left, although you'd think he would play off the right more often. And he'd also provide Odegaard with much needed competition. He had a bit of a mediocre season goal output-wise. He only contributed to 11 league goals, and that's down from the 8 goals the season before. I should add that he scored 3 goals this season just gone with 8 assists. And then the 15 league goals he scored in 2022-23. So not the best season for the Arsenal skipper, but I think Eze would provide much needed competition in that department.
Okay, thank you. Very good points. Obviously, one Palace will not be happy to see go. There have been rumours of it, although at this rate it seems to be a case of Arsenal not wanting to pay the price Palace want, which won't get them very far, you wouldn't imagine. We're going to jump to Sam next. Who have you suggested for Arsenal?
Yeah, I've gone a bit differently. I think that Arsenal need more of an out-and-out left winger. I don't think they need someone like Eze who can sort of play in the half spaces. They've already got Odegaard, and I don't see them bringing in Eze to take the place of Odegaard. I've gone for not who they're linked with more. I'm not gone with Rodrigo. I've gone with Rafael Leao. AC Milan didn't get Europe, so he probably wants out, and I just think that they need that more direct, he's basically just a straight upgrade on Martinelli, and I think he is a player that will definitely take them to that next level, to challenging for the league. So I've gone for Leao. I
think you make good arguments, and I think you also raise a good point about Eze not actually being a left winger. I think there seems to be a bit of a delusion there that they will just happily slide in at left wing.
Yeah, we've seen him play left mid in a 4-4-2 for Roy Hodgson. I know it's not the same, but when he's out wide like that as an actual winger, he's not anywhere near as good as he is when he's playing in and around the centre backs. So I think he's, I don't think he's the player that wins in the league. Is the point I was trying to make.
So you're suggesting your player, but you're also smacking down Kyle's shout at the same time. The points have
I just don't want him to leave. I just don't want him to leave. I think it's called that.
Brilliant. It's what we love to see. I'm going to go to Charlie now, just because nothing personal, Matt. Just that's the order I've got everyone written down in the points leaderboard.
It's the Brighton links. It's the Brighton links, I'm telling you.
Who have you gone for, Charlie?
So I've gone slightly different again, and I haven't gone with Rodrigo either. I saw earlier today, a report suggesting that Arsenal have joined the race with Inter for Ademola Lookman. I feel like we've all gone for the left-hand side. It's clearly their weak point. Lookman is going to be cheaper than Eze because they're not willing to pay 68? It's probably around 65, right, that we're going to want for him now. His release clause has expired. And Lookman, there's been bids from Inter that Atalanta are happy with, 35 million-ish, give or take. But the problem is the agreement they had last summer with Lookman is that they'd only let him leave to a team in another league. They're not going to let him leave to another team in Italy. So that doesn't look like it's making any progress with Inter. And he's been brilliant for Atalanta since he went out. They obviously had a rocky last season at Fulham, that one penalty that everyone remembers. But scoring a hat-trick in a European final is no mean feat. And I think he'd be really, really good for Arsenal. He's direct, he's a great finisher, and coming in off the left, I think he's a massive improvement on Martinelli.
I think that's a great argument. I will just quickly jump in because Eze's release clause has not expired. It expires on the 15th of August. So, but your point still stands. If Arsenal don't meet the release clause by then, the price is only going to go up with, a week and a half left of the window after that. But Lookman, a lovely shout. I think one that people may be overlooking, if you pardon the pun. But, we'll jump to Matt for this last suggestion for Arsenal.
I've gone a little bit different. It's not a left winger, it's a left-sided player. I think you already have a couple of underperforming players in Martinelli and Trossard. I think with an attacking fullback, and with some support down that side, they could get a lot more out of Martinelli and Trossard, for example. So I've gone with Lewis Hall. I think, Lewis Skelly, is very one-dimensional for a left-back, and obviously is a very good fullback in Berting. But again, I just think they're very one-dimensional from that position. And if they did have an overlapping fullback, then it would get a lot more out of their wingers, for example. And he can also invert as well. He's versatile too, so I think it'd be very sensible.
I think that's a good shout. I'm just going to quickly... What I'll do whilst we're doing this, obviously, you guys are going to have a little bit of time to put your arguments forward. If, as the head of whatever I said I was, sporting director, I'm forgetting now... if I've got any questions, I will come to you. So, Matt, there is a question for you there. You say that you think he offers something Lewis Skelly doesn't. What do you do with Lewis Skelly?
It's a good question because Lewis Skelly is a natural midfielder, so you could say he goes there in midfield. But there's just some things that Lewis Skelly isn't great at that are obviously important in midfield. For example, receiving under pressure and dribbling out of pressure as well. He's not amazing at. I'm not too sold on his progressive passing either, but Lewis Skelly's a great player and he fits their system right now very well. But I think if you were to change that system and you were to get more out of your left wingers, you'd need an overlapping fullback. I was thinking of David Raum as well from Leipzig. But yeah, just someone who overlaps, someone to support the wingers.
Okay, I like all of your arguments. I think that Matt, I might give you a bit more budget to maybe stretch and look at that fullback at some point. I appreciate you highlighting another area of my team that I need to spend money on. But I am going to stick with one of the attacking forwards that have been suggested. Kyle, no chance you're getting a point with Eze.
Oh, come on, man.
Nah, it's not happening. I'm sorry. You should have known better. Obviously, you didn't know there were points involved. I'm going to go with Lookman. And purely because I have trepidations about Rafael Leao. One of my best friends is an AC Milan fan. I watched a lot of AC Milan over the last 3 or 4 years, and I just don't think he has enough for the Premier League. I think he's a little bit too lazy.
I agree.
So, of course, you're getting a point. But so that leaves us one team in and 1 point for Charlie. But great suggestions, brilliant arguments. This is exactly what I wanted from this video concept. Without further ado, let's jump on to... sorry, Matt, go on.
Can I just say something quick? I think we should be given a 30-second, 45-second time limit just so we don't stretch on, you know.
That's fine. I will keep an eye on the time and I will give you a countdown, okay? With my hands.
So it doesn't drag on,
He's
you
getting
know?
really competitive. He's getting competitive. I love it.
No. Just so the pod doesn't drag on. Just so the pod doesn't drag on.
We could be here 4 hours. It's been about 10 minutes. We've done one team. I'll give you a little 10, 9, 8 like that on my fingers. So that's when you know that it's getting to crunch.
There's more pressure this way as well. I like it.
Exactly.
Jeopardy.
Right.
You should have your notes.
Aston Villa.
I
Villa
have it
have
in front
had
of me.
a quiet window. They've spent only about 6 million over 3 transfers, including central defender Yassin Ozcan from Caston Parsa. At the time of recording, however, it appears, unfortunately, that Villa appear to have hijacked Crystal Palace's deal for Evan Gassand from Nice, reportedly agreeing a fee in the region of 30 million euros. With Europa League football to contend with, a trophy Unai Emery has won 4 times. Who do they need to sign? Kyle, your minute, how long did we say minute? 40 seconds?
45
your
seconds.
45
Something like that. I think
seconds
that'll be fair.
start
That's quick.
now.
I'm going down the route with what Charlie said for Arsenal. I've got Lookman for Aston Villa. He created 59 chances last season in the Serie A, which ranks him as the 3rd highest. And for the last 3 seasons, he has scored 10 plus goals. I just think with the uncertainty of their wingers going forward with Bailey, Buendia, I think Bailey's been linked with a few moves away. Plus with Rashford, who had a relatively good loan spell there, is now at Barcelona. I just think they're a little bit light across their front line. He's a very versatile player. Wouldn't cost too much, and he has European experience. 5 goals in 7 UCL games last season.
That was superbly timed, Kyle. Very good
Thank
argument.
you very much.
Incredible.
Another good shout. Let's waste no time and jump straight back onto Sam. You can see I'm elongating my words because I'm trying to get it to a number which makes it easy for me to keep an eye on. Let's go, Sam. What have you got?
I've gone for Lucas Chevalier, the Lille keeper. They got rid of Olsen. He's left on a free. And they need another keeper. There's rumours of Emery as well. Not Emery, what's his name? Emi Martinez, sorry. Leaving. Lucas Chevalier was the 24-25 Ligue goalkeeper of the year. He's already linked with them. He's 23, I believe, 24. So he's young. So they can bring him in now and he can take over Emi Martinez in a few years. Or if he does go now, he's ready to go. He's shown that he can do it at the top level.
Didn't even need to do the timer. Lovely work.
I thought you were going
check
PSG.
Yeah, I did just double check that
yes.
as Sam was talking, but he has not.
Has he already gone?
He's not actually gone to
Okay.
PSG yet, from what I can see.
Okay, there you go.
So
He's
that-
still in with a point.
Not
He's still in
bad.
with a
Still
chance.
stands.
I did not know about that.
Charlie, you're up next. 3, 2, 1. Talk to me.
After John Duran left Villa in January, I think they're very light up top. Obviously, Guisson's a good signing, but he's kind of evolved into more of a 10 last season at Nice. I think they need a striker. Watkins' future is always uncertain. Nick Woltemade is an absolute monster. 6'6", netted 17 goals last season for Stuttgart, just 23. Went to the under-21 Euros of Germany, a little bit unfair, albeit. It was like he was playing against children. But he scored 6 and assisted 3 there. He is genuinely phenomenal. An unbelievable striker. Really good on the ball despite his height. Very unorthodox, but I think he'd be a great signing for Villa. Back up to Watkins and he could learn a lot and then become the first choice.
Lovely and in time. Good shout. I like it. Matt, who have you got? Let's go now.
It's difficult because I was going to say, given their financial issues, Lindelof or Tomiyasu, both free agents. Both good players, I think, as well, but I'm going to change it and I'm going to go with a winger or attacking midfielder, depending on what way you look at it. Magnus Akliouche at Monaco. Left-footed, very direct, very quick feet, and obviously Leon Bailey's future is up in the air, or just their wingers in general. And Ben Seguir, you could say as well, both of them, but I'm going to stick with Akliouche. He's good at using his body, especially when he dribbles as well, and I think that's something you really have to do in the Premier League, so yeah.
Perfect, and you still have 10 seconds to go. I like all of your arguments. I think you put forward some really good players. Lookman is a shout I really do like for Aston Villa. I also like the Chevalier shout because obviously Martinez, I think, is getting on a bit. I think they do need a goalkeeper. But I'm going to go with Matt here. I really like Akliouche. I think he's a good player, and I actually do think that he would really fit into Emery's system. So I like that shout. So I'm going to give the point to Matt. But
that was a last-second change as well.
Good. He's pulled one out of the bag. Good arguments again, though.
I wasted Nick Woltemade. I can't believe it.
Did. I don't want to make it too easy, guys.
I've got him as well, but for another club.
Oh, this would be funny if I just gave the point to Matt for that. Moving on, guys. Next up, we have Bournemouth. The Cherries punched above their weight last season until they ran out of steam, but Andoni Iraola has provided the Cherries fans, the few of them that there are, with exciting football. Adrian Truffer has come in to replace the departing Milos Kerkez, as well as Dorde Petrovic, who we said in our last episode was Chelsea's best goalkeeper. Well, at least I did anyway. But who else do they need to sign if they're to continue their momentum from last season? I'm going to swap the order round this time just to mix things up, and we're going to start with Matt. So if you'd like to give me your argument, you've got 40 seconds. Let's go.
I've got Makoni De Winter at Genoa. I think he's intense. He fits the style of play very well. Good ball player. I think he does need to bulk up a little bit, but that will come in the Premier League. I think he just slots straight in that back line. His long passing is very good in particular as well, and that's something Andoni Iraola likes his centre-backs to play. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of long balls going forward to Evan Nilsson. I think it's just a like-for-like fit, and he slots straight in that back line. Yes, a little bit of improvement might be needed, but that will come in time, and it's just such a Bournemouth signing.
Perfect. I don't think I'm going to have to do these timers. I will if we're carrying on a bit, but you're doing very well. A lovely suggestion, and they are losing defenders. Obviously, Huijsen left. Zabani is most likely leaving too. Next up, Charlie, who have you got for Bournemouth?
Once again, I'm agreeing with Matt. They do need a centre-back. I've gone with a different route, though. A little bit more experience, 27 years of age. He's about 6'2". Jean Lukumi from Bologna. Very aggressive defender. He's got pretty much beats Huijsen in most defensive metrics last season. And obviously, Huijsen's biggest strength is his passing. But Lukumi also has more passes per 90, more long balls completed per 90, a higher pass percentage, and more key passes per 90. He's strong, he's aggressive, he makes a lot of tackles, but 2.3 tackles per night for a centre-back is quite high. Very aggressive, will slot right into the Prem, and he's comfortable on the ball as well. I think that'll be a very good signing. And you'll be able to get him for cheap as well.
Perfect. Sam, who have you gone for?
I've agreed with both of them. I've gone for a centre-back as well. With Zabani leaving, they're going to need someone. He's off to PSG now, isn't he? So it looks like it anyway. The reason I'm wearing my Benfica shirt, said to the lads before the podcast, I'll put it on because I've suggested a player from Benfica. I've gone for Thomas Araujo. He's got experience playing in the high line. We were linked with him last summer, so I know we've all done a bit of a research, past fans of the pod. Very solid, very young, European experience, Portuguese national team experience. They could do a lot worse than getting Thomas Araujo.
Lovely argument. And you know what? The second you said that it was your Benfica player, I already started writing down his name.
I saw.
I thought it was Silva. I thought it was Antonio Silva. Not gonna lie.
Some very nice arguments so far, and you're doing very well with your timings, boys. I'm very impressed. Kyle, your last for Bournemouth. Who are we going with?
Yeah, mine was also a centre-back. I've went for Ajax's Josip Satalo. He's only 25 years old, and he has some unbelievable underlying numbers. He has a 93.5% pass accuracy amongst centre-backs in his league, and he attempts 84 passes a game. So it's not like he's not getting much of the ball, and that's why his pass accuracy is high. He fits the Huijsen mould of being a good carrier of the ball. And like you've said before, they're light in the defensive department with Zabani looking like he's off and Huijsen is already at Madrid. And I think the fee, it's around 30 million, maybe a little bit more. So not breaking the bank really either.
Perfect. Another good argument and in perfect timing. You've all put forward centre-backs. I think that would have been the position I would have done if I was also in your shoes. This is a really hard one. I think the best player that's been suggested is Thomas Araujo. I think, is that realistic? Yeah, potentially with the amount of money they could get for Zabani. I like all of your shouts though. I think very well researched. I think every single player has a great shout and a good case there, and you've all argued very well. I'm going to keep it interesting, and I'm going to give the point to Sam on that one. I just think that Araujo would be the best signing. I did a lot of research on him when we were linked with him. Well done, Sam. Moving on, we've got Brentford. So Brentford are a common tip for relegation this season, as Keith Andrews takes the reins at the G-Tech. Brian Mbeumo and Christian Norgard have already departed, and Johan Visser could well be out too. Visser and Mbuemu scored an astonishing 39 goals, which is roughly 60% of the Bees' Premier League strikes last season. So far, they've brought in Joachim Kelleher and Jordan Henderson. That's 2 of 4 new signings, but who else do they need to bring in? Let's stick with the order that we just did, which means, Matt, you're up first.
I've picked 2 players here. I'm still trying to decide who.
I think that's allowed, mate.
I am going to go with Santiago Castro from Bologna. I think they need a striker, especially if Wissa leaves. And he can also play out on the left as well. With losing Wissa, you're going to lose that versatility, of course. He's fast, he's a very, very good finisher, he's instinctive. And they've got Igor Thiago as well. You can probably play off Igor Thiago as well. I think he's a good cheap option as well. He won't be too much and fits the Premier League very well.
Perfect. And good timing again. Nice shout. Like it.
Other one was Nusa. Nusa, by the way.
Okay.
I'll go over Castro.
I'm not. The fact that I don't know too much about him suggests that he probably would be quite a good fit for Brentford, because that's normally the way with their signings.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a really good shout, Castro.
Charlie, who have you gone for Brentford?
I've gone a little bit different with Brentford. I haven't gone for a Wissa replacement. I've gone for a bit more in the middle of the pitch. I'm not entirely convinced that Jordan Henderson can fill the boots of Norgard. And as much as Norgard's more of a 6, nice. I've gone with an 8.
Yes.
I've gone with an 8. I've gone for Nadim Amiri from Mainz. He was a wonder kid, kind of, back in the day when he was at Leverkusen, and he's kind of peaked quite later on into his 20s. But he's got really good defensive numbers for an 8. 1.5 tackles per 90 to Norgard's 1.9. It's not awful. His output in the final third is brilliant. 8 goals and 6 assists last season, and was probably the shining star in a Mainz side that massively overachieved, finishing 6th in the Bundesliga. 28 years of age, good balance of maturity, experience, ability. I think he'd be really good for Brentford.
Very nice. A great shout, yeah. He was in the Bundesliga team of the season last year, so he did have a great year. Sam, who have you gone for Brentford?
Looking at my list, I'm glad I've gone for the style I've gone for, because you lads have just rattled off 2 players I've never heard of, and I've gone for the obvious one every time. So I've just gone for Leandro Trossard.
Okay.
They could do with a player in that sort of area of the pitch. Losing Mbuemo, probably going to lose Visser as well. Trossard, if they're going for Eze, they're probably going to try and get rid of Trossard. They can probably get him on the cheap, Brentford. Bit of experience. I see it sort of a similar signing as Ericsson, maybe. Just picking up a bit of trash from a bigger team, maybe hopefully turning him into what he was before.
Highlight the trash.
But yeah, no, I think they could do a lot worse than Trossard, and he brings some experience to the team.
Okay, not an awful shout. I can see where you're thinking with that one. Kyle, what about you, Brentford?
I went for Amari Hutchinson from Ipswich. He has Premier experience, obviously, with Ipswich in the season just gone. Did only contribute to 5 goals in 31 appearances, but it's one of them where you have to take it with a pinch of salt. He was in a relegation side. He was in a side with Liam Delap, who was probably the standout player in that side, and he's made his move to Chelsea. It's rumoured that a £37.5 million bid would be enough to prize him away from Ipswich. They had a bid rejected, I believe, of 35 because the money... I don't think there was enough money up front for Ipswich to consider it. So they're certainly already interested. And I think if they go back a second time, they could get it done.
Very nice. Okay, all good arguments again. I'm enjoying how much work you've put into this, boys. A couple of things as sporting director, and I've also decided that this is coming out of my own pocket. I am not... I like the player, Kyle, but I can't spend that much money on Amari Hutchinson. I just can't. Like you highlighted it yourself, not good goal output, yes, for a bad team. I like the shout. I like the player. I think there's something there. Trossard is a good shout. And the other 2, Amiri and obviously Santiago Castro, both very good shouts. This is a hard one for me. I'm genuinely really torn. I'm not sure who to go with. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick between the two that I'm liking the most, and I am going to go with Amiri, I think. So is that Charlie? A point to Charlie?
Yes, come on.
Who was the two?
It was Castro, wasn't it?
It was not Trossard.
It was not Trossard. It was between Castro. Leandro Trossard is not a good player. No,
You're not really selling it though, Sam. Get rid of the trash, pick up a little bit of trash. It's not going to convince him, is it?
Tony plays around, I was trying to make it realistic. I wasn't trying to go for the best player.
He's just a fan of recycling, all right? That's what we're
Yeah. Keep it
so, we move on. And obviously there will only be one man that we come to first here. Brighton and Hove Albion. Or as I was taught on Twitter last night, apparently spent a lot of their early history in Hove. So maybe it should be Hove and Brighton Albion FC. Who knows? Either way, Tony Bloom has proven himself to be one of, if not the best owners in the Premier League, unfortunately. And he spent the money again this summer. Diego Coppola, Oliver Boscagli, Maxime de Kuyper, and, going to give this a good old try here, Charalompos Kostoulas are the notable incomings on the south coast. Sounds like a Wi-Fi password, that bloke. We'll go to our resident Brighton fan first. Matt, take it away.
You say resident Brighton fan. I don't actually live anywhere near Brighton. Right, so I've gone with Wilfried Singo at Monaco. We need a right back. He's very, very good at ground covering and in a Hertzler system. That's something you need to do as a fullback. We do have Charlie Tasker in the academy who has broken through and he has proven he can probably get some minutes this season, but we need, I think for sure, a reliable option. Veltman is very injury prone. I do rate him, but Wilfried Singo would just blow everyone away and I think would come in and have a good shout to be one of the top 5 in the league, would you say?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah, would that be fair? Because Singo's great.
He's a good player. I do think sometimes you maybe overrate your players slightly, but I think that
not
Singo,
top 5, yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Top 10.
I'd hope top 10. Things you probably should finish there. I'd have to give him 2 months, and then I'll get back to you.
He can lace Munoz' boots if he wants. We'll let him.
Oh no, no, he's better than Munoz.
Let's be nice. Okay, it's a nice shout. Yeah, a very good player. You're right, very talented, and I do think he would be good in that Hertzler system. We're going to go switch it up a bit. Let's go to Kyle now.
I don't really know how to follow a Brighton fan's opinion, really, because they would know a lot more than me. But I just went to James McAtee, just because I think he's the asking price that City are asking for is not that bad of a price at all. I believe it's only 30 million, and he's shown glimpses not just in the Premier League but also on the European stage. He's had some really good performances, and I could just see if him going to Brighton within 2 seasons or so, they would have another superstar who they would likely then end up selling to Chelsea. So I don't know. I just liked the look of it. Homegrown quota as well. I'm not sure if that's a big issue at Brighton, really, but there we go.
Lovely.
Can I just say something as well about McAtee quickly? We nearly signed him actually 2-3 seasons ago when he was still in City's academy.
Oh,
very interesting.
So you got that bang on.
Lovely. Good shout, Kyle. Let's go to
the director of football, man. Just as you said that, I've thought of Harvey Elliott, and I would do that, but I've put a lot of research into this, and I have to stick with my player. Brighton have shown over the last few years, it annoys me to say it, but they are brilliant at finding these random talents from nowhere, paying $1 million for them, and then selling them for triple the price a couple of years later, or more, 100 times the price. I've gone for a man called Mads Enggaard from Molde. Right, this took me a while to find. He's a 20-year-old central midfielder, Danish. And I think he's got a bit. I've watched a couple of comps on YouTube, and I've looked at some statistics. He's all over the place. And he throws himself about a lot. He's young. He's got 3 years of professional football under his belt as well, obviously, albeit in the Scandinavian leagues. But I like him. So, Mads Enggaard.
I really like your methods of research there. That's really cracked me up.
I watched
Sign him up. Sign him up.
I did. I watched some comps on YouTube after finding him, just to make sure he had a bit,
Send him to Tony. He'll have a look at the videos as well.
He spent all day. Charlie spent all day watching comps of random Scandinavian players and hoping that
it was only 3 hours. It wasn't all day.
That's not too bad. Okay, right. We're gonna go. We're going to go to Sam, mate. How can you follow that outrageous shout out?
My player's already been mentioned. I've gone for Harvey Elliott, mainly because I think he's a twat, and I think that would suit Brighton. I can't hate him anymore. He's a good player. We all watched I watched the Under-21 Euros. He's a brilliant player. And yes, it's similar reasons to what Kyle gave for McAtee. I think he fills that role.
Okay.
Very well.
Linked as well, linked this summer.
Yeah, well, he's been linked. And I just think he'd be a good signing. And I don't like him anyways, so I wouldn't mind him doing that.
Yeah, I don't think that's an awful shout. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make this interesting. I did like your shout, Matt. I really did. And in terms of profile, I actually do think that is a signing that you could definitely do with, especially with bringing De Kuyper in on the other side. However, because I think this might just add a bit of interest to the pod and it's just something fun for you to do, Matt, I'm going to ask you one question and I want a one-word answer. Who would you rather have at Brighton? James McAtee or Harvey Elliott?
Oh, that's tough.
What about Mads Engard, guys?
No.
Never heard of him, so he's going to be great. Elliot. I'm going to say Elliot.
Harvey Elliott, which means the point goes to Sam.
Damn.
Kyle,
I was going to go with Elliot as well.
I'm just going to give you a quick update on the score. We have, unfortunately, Kyle holding up the fort with 0 at the bottom. But in fairness, I think that you have made very good suggestions. I just think that I haven't had much choice with a couple of them. I think that we could have gone either way there. Hence why I asked. I was between you and Sam. But I think giving the Brighton fan the choice is only fair. I'm not really in a place to say who they should sign. We've then
I'd
got
just
Matt
like to
with
say,
one.
Henry,
Oh, yeah.
sorry, very quickly, about half an hour ago, David Ornstein said that RB Leipzig are interested in Harvey Elliott. So you, as a sporting director, better get a move on.
You got to focus. You got to focus, Phil. Come on.
Okay.
I'll wrap this up so you go to a second job. Come on.
Right, let's not start getting bitter.
The scouts are passionate.
Okay, so
It's
we've
good.
then got Matt. We've got Matt with 1 point, and joint winners at the minute. I'm not going to say joint winners. Joint at the top is Charlie and Sam. We're going to move on to the first of the newly promoted side. Here we go. New Boys Burnley have made a handful of smart signings, including making loan moves permanent for both Jaden Anthony and Marcus Edwards, as well as signing Kyle Walker and Axel Twanzebe to bolster their defence. I don't know if they've ever watched Kyle Walker play. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they took the hit of losing James Trafford and CJ Egan-Riley, who are both massive for their incredible defence in the Championship last season. But who do the Clarets need to bring in if they're to have any chance of surviving this season? Who hasn't gone first? I'm just looking at my order. I'm going to go with Charlie.
I'm yet to go first. I've gone with a centre back, and again, you guys might not have heard of this man. I hadn't until I did this research. But I know. He plays for Frankfurt, so it's not a crazy one, all right?
Okay.
His name's Aurelien Menda. They signed him last summer from Young Boys. He's Swiss. He's 22 years old. He's 6'5", and he's just got some really good stats underlying. He's young. He's had like 5 years now of professional football at 22, which is quite impressive. He actually won more of his duels last season in the Bundesliga than Egan-Riley did last season in the Championship. So, I don't know. He's got some good numbers and he's young. He'd be really cheap as well, probably like 5 million. Good aerial ability as well. I think it'd be a good signing.
Okay, Kyle, who have you got?
I really struggled with this one. I can't lie. I just don't. I don't know enough about Championship teams and coming up, but I went for Fraser Forster. He's a free agent. They need a keeper. He's probably not a great one, but
I think that was Fraser Forster at the front door, mate.
Please give me a contract.
I don't know. He'll offer a bit of experience or something like. He's a free agent. Like, you can't go too wrong with it.
Okay, I don't hate it. There's a world I can see it happening. I just don't. I feel like if there are any Burnley fans listening, they're not going to be feeling very inspired by it. Anyway, let's go to Sam.
Talk about inspiring Burnley fans. This is, I actually feel really bad. I genuinely, I sat there and I thought, there's not a single sign I can think of that will keep them in the Premier League. So I genuinely on my doc, I have wrote down, I don't know, chuck £5 million at Real Madrid and hope they give you Mbappe and then get a little pray, because I don't see what they can do. So my answer is offer £5 million for Mbappe and pray you can get him, because
Okay.
I don't have any.
Is your answer support another team? Is that your answer?
I've been quite enjoying my role as sporting director, and I don't think that will do me any favours in keeping that job.
I think I have an easy runner.
I think you do. I think you can set up perfectly, because I think Kyle's just gone for a bit of a banter.
Charlie's upset.
Sorry.
Charlie's. See, I've obviously known Charlie for a very long time, being his brother, and he's always done this in football conversations. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to get him on the podcast, was because he has a very wide knowledge of some very interesting football players.
Wide knowledge? You didn't know who the player was this morning.
Well, but he always finds weird players like.
I'm putting the most effort here, guys. That's what I'm going to say.
Matt,
That doesn't get you points, mate.
Matt, you're on the green.
That's so far, man.
You're on the green and you're putting for birdie. What have you got?
Oof, that's not something you want to do. I've gone with another free agent, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think they could do a lot worse up front. In fact, they actually have done a lot worse up front with Broja. I think, look, you play it...
This is the worst.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I actually don't think Calvert-Lewin's that bad. You get in the box, he will score you headers. He will score you goals if he keeps you fit.
Okay. I like how
I think you're more likely to stay up by throwing £5 million at Mbappe than actually signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Just spend money on Broja, no?
I think we need to rein it back in. Firstly, I just want to say I think I meant putting for eagle. I'm not really clued up on our golf terminology.
Neither.
I thought of. So for me, it's between Kyle. I really want to give you a point, but I can't. Fraser Forster.
Don't give me a pity point, mate.
I don't think Calvert-Lewin's really not that bad.
I think I've got the best one, guys.
I'm between is it Amenda?
Yeah, we all know him.
Even know.
Amenda and Calvert-Lewin.
It's got to be Calvert-Lewin.
I'm going to go
Who
with
is he?
I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin. But I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin, but there's multiple reasons. One, I think he could score some headers. Two, I also think he could do a lot for kind of diversity and promotion of different views in that part of the country.
And also, who is it? All-round Mender. I made him up.
I joke.
Our number 9 was fucking Knickers and Bras.
I don't see him doing many more of those photo shoots if he does go up to Burnley. I don't know why.
No, it's not
anyway,
on brand.
Let's lock in, as they say, and kind of bring focus back. Now we're not on a. I mean, that was a thankless task. Burnley are going down. We all know that. Let's go to Chelsea. So they've spent more than 200 million, of course, unsurprisingly, including deals for João Pedro, Liam Delap, Jamie Bino-Gittins and Jorel Hato, as well as, I believe, being close to signing both Garnacho and Xavi Simons. But who else possibly do they need if they're going to continue their momentum from their Club World Cup triumph?
Can I start? Sorry. Can I start?
Of
I
course.
just want to get mine out of the way. No one. They don't need anyone.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so
Yes,
you're
they
going
do.
for
They
the
don't
Sam
need anyone.
approach. No one.
Yep, indeed.
It didn't
Indeed.
work for him last time, so we'll see if that gets you
I
a
wasn't
point.
expecting it to.
Might save me a couple of quid though, so we'll see. Charlie, what about you?
So I think I said, let's be honest, Chelsea don't need any new players. They've got about 500 in the training ground. But I have said, after the departure of Madueke, and I looked at their squad, I think they're a bit light on the right-hand side of the wing. I've gone with Eden Zagrova from Lille. I think Zagrova is genuinely phenomenal. Like, every time I've watched him in the Champions League, he's been brilliant. I think it was last season against Real in the league phase. He scored a phenomenal goal. He was very plagued with injuries last year, had an unlucky year, but when he's on it, he is great. And I saw earlier today Marseille have made contact with Lille, so he's clearly available. They've not made it clear he's unavailable. I think it'd be a really good sign for Chelsea. He's very fast, direct, good player.
Nice. We'll go to Kyle.
Yeah, I've went for a goalkeeper again. It's not Fraser Forster, but I just think Robert Sanchez is not very good. Like, he's just not great.
Yeah.
So I've went for Diogo Costa from Porto.
Nice.
He's got like a 50% clean sheet rate. He's very comfortable coming off of his line with the ball at his feet, which we know that Maresca likes to play that way. He's installed that possession-based football into a Chelsea side. Can't really go too much more into detail with it because I think you are very limited with Chelsea and who they should sign or need to sign purely because they have so many players. So Diogo Costa for me, and then I think that's it. They don't need anyone else.
Okay, nice. I'm just trying to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. No, I thought I'd accidentally missed giving somebody a point there. I like that shout. And finally, Sam.
Yeah, I was absolutely gobsmacked that these first two said they don't really need anyone. Sanchez is horrible. Chelsea's aim should be, let's be honest, to be challenging for the title. They're probably 1 or 2 signings away from that, and I think a keeper is one of them. I've also gone for keeper, but I've gone for my nan.
Your nan?
Your nan?
Yeah, she's getting on, but she's not too bad. She's 6'4", so
look at the
Your
size
nan's got
of
a
her.
line up.
Oh, dear.
You know, it's got
no, I've gone no. No, I've obviously gone for the AC Milan. Once again, AC Milan didn't get Europe.
Right, crack on. Sorry, Sam, this isn't going to be taken out of your time.
It's a great
Sorry,
concept,
your,
though.
your nan's got safe hands. It's the best thing I've ever heard.
You what? You what? What did you say?
I said your nan's got safe hands.
safe hands. Right. Okay, so my nan is your shout.
Yeah, just leave it there. I'll
Okay.
cover it.
Okay, good shout. Unsurprisingly, Matt, you're not going to be picking up a point here as you've clearly taken the day off.
That's poor.
I think Zagrova's a good shout, but I don't think he's good enough for Chelsea personally. That's just my thoughts. I don't think he's good enough. I do like him as a player. I think he'd be great for some other teams on this list, but not Chelsea. My nan is brilliant. And Diogo Costa is also a good shout, but out of the two, I'm going to go with Diogo Costa because not a pity point in the slightest, Kyle. I was hoping that somebody would suggest Diogo Costa for this shout. I think he's great, he's young, a ridiculous amount of experience on both the domestic and international stage. And so I think you have well deserved your first point of the episode.
Let's go.
Now, on to Crystal Palace, who have, in classic Palace fashion, had an extremely slow start to the window, despite promising our only ever cup-winning manager and the best manager in the history of the club that we would back him early on. He's not happy, understandably. Anyway, we've had just 2 incomings at Palace in the shape of Walter Benitez, who, in my opinion, looks absolutely shocking, and Borna Sosa. So we've only spent 3 million, and with a maiden European season incoming, signings are needed desperately to bolster the squad. So who should Glasner get in? We're going to start with the Palace boys. Let's go to Sam first.
I've gone for someone mentioned previously. I've gone for James McAtee. We need depth and even starters in our attack, especially if Eze goes. He everything Carl said before. He's played in the European stage. He's played. He's done the what Sunday, Thursday matches. Talented player, and he's in a position that we need. So I think it would make loads of sense. And like Carl said, the price, 30 million, something like that. So yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer for me.
Perfect. And you just did it there, so I'm going to introduce this round. The time is now cut to 30 seconds. What we might do, when we get halfway, we'll have a little break and discuss whether to maybe split this into 2 episodes. We shall see. Anyway, Charlie, you are up next.
I want to caveat this by saying my original suggestion has now gone to Villa, so that's always fun. Classic Palace. So I've gone with... that's disrespectful. I've gone with Andy Juve from RC Lons. I really like Juve. I think he's big, he's strong, he's very good on the ball. And also, I feel like as much as we've got a lot of quality and depth in the middle of the pitch, we lack height. Like, you go through all of our midfielders, they're all around between 5'10" and 6 foot. I feel like Andy Juve is very tall, and I think he'd be really good for us. And he'd add a new bit of a dynamic to our midfield.
Nice. Good shout. I have written a deep dive on him. If you want to check that out, go to henryswain.co.uk. Little plug. Kyle, who have you suggested?
I've went for a player that has been linked with you previously in Bisek, 24-year-old centre-back from Inter. When I was having a little look at his numbers, he has a 90% pass completion, and it ranks him in the top 18% of defenders in the Serie A. He's used to playing in various back three or back four, so there's always the opportunity to switch it up there. And he's a goal threat as well and a good ball carrier.
Perfect. Good shout. I like that a lot. And finally, Matt, who should Palace sign? And you're not allowed to say Fraser Forster.
I'm actually going to go with Ali Dia. You know that Southampton guy? But no, seriously, I've gone with Ismail Saibari at PSV, attacking midfielder, but you can also play in centre mid. Very good carrier. He's tall, technically very, very sound as well. And yeah, he'd be great for you. I know you need depth in centre mid, and as you say, you need height in there as well. He's a big guy. You'd be surprised. Yeah, you could do a lot worse than him. He'd be, I reckon, 20 to 30 mil.
I like that shout. Saibari is a good shout. Juve also. McAtee also a good shout. And Bisek, recently linked with him over the last few days, would also be a great signing. This is a tricky one for me. Obviously, as a Palace fan,
I'd actually take any of them.
I would take all of them. Can we do that? Can I say yes to all? No, I am. I'm gonna stick with my kind of initial preference for Palace before hearing all of these shouts. I'll caveat it by saying that Bisek and Saibari are both very good shouts. I would like both of them, and Bisek could well actually happen. But I don't think we need that depth as long as Gay stays. So I'm going to go with Andy Diouf. Charlie knew what he was doing with that. He knows that I love the player. And I have a feeling that's why he suggested it. Of course, he didn't know about the points earlier. But so that's 8 clubs down. So we'll do 2 more before we have a little break, which leaves us with, there's no team in the Premier League beginning with D. So we are on to Everton. David Moyes came in, took over from Sean Dyche. He steadied the ship last season, and with the new Hill Dickinson Stadium, beautifully named by the way, set to host the Toffees for the first time this season, they've strengthened with the signings of Tieno Barry and of course Carlos Alcaraz, who impressed on loan last season.
And Dewsbury Hall today.
Very well. Thank you very much. And they've also tied down Jared Branthwaite to a bumper contract until 2030. But who else needs to arrive before the season kicks off? Let's start with looking around. Draw Matt.
Yes. Okay, I'm happy about that because I know one of you has got this. Surely you've got Tyler Dibling. Anyone? No? I thought it was the obvious one, given he's in talks right now.
You look a bit like him.
You think?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
Oh, mate, tell you what, on TikTok Live I got called Beaver today, so that's an upgrade. But yeah, no. Oh, shit. Obviously, very, very good carrier. He's very strong for his age as well. Can fill in both right wing and attacking midfielder. Russell Martin said he could be an 8 and a 10 in the future. We all know enough about it, Dibling, so yeah.
Very nice shout. Charlie, what about you?
Despite the signing of Tieno Barry from Villarreal, Everton is still fairly light up top, with just Beto as the other option. I think a striker could be good for the Toffees, as Barry can play out wide. It is an option. I suggest Georges Mikhail-Tadze. The Georgians shined at the Euros last summer and had a strong season in France with Lyon, scoring 17 and assisting 9. Everybody knows of Lyon's financial struggles. They need to sell. He outscored his expected goals last season. He can also play off the left. He's very good creatively too. I think he'd be a very good sign for Everton. They'd be able to get one cheap as well.
Very nice. Sam, you're up.
It's kind of boring. Everton have done a lot of the fun signings already. They've signed a bunch of new attackers. I saw this today that David Moyes. So you got to listen to your manager, by the way, Henry. David Moyes said today he wants a midfielder. I also saw that Wilfred Ndidi had a £9 million relegation release clause. I think you could do a lot worse than going in for him at £9 million. It makes sense. They've done the fun signings.
I think he's
they
gone
just need to
Besiktas.
bolster-
I think he went
Yeah.
Besiktas today.
He is, yeah.
He went Besiktas today.
Sam,
Well-
I'll jump to Kyle. I don't want you to forfeit the point completely. I'll jump to Kyle, and in Kyle's 30 seconds, you can come up with one more player. So, Kyle, who have you got?
Well, I can't come up with one more player because I had Charlie's player. I can't believe that. It's just because it's not even like an
That's
obvious
niche.
one. It's a
That's
niche
niche.
one.
Okay, Kyle. Why don't you give me your argument, and whoever makes the better argument, will be quite say I will go with.
Just copy what I say.
He's averaged a goal contribution every 2 games in Liga this season, which I mean, is not bad going at all, really. And apparently, Lyon are only wanting 30 million euros for the player as well. So again, like Everton, they don't like to spend big. It's more than achievable, really. And I think he'd be an improvement on all of their attacking options, really.
Perfect. Sam, come on. What have you found?
Yeah, there's this really niche player called Tyler Dibbling. I'll forfeit this. I don't have the time to. I don't
Okay,
think
that's
anyone
fine.
will
That's
decide
unfortunate. It's
Can't believe
okay.
it.
It's no slight on you. We all have bad days at work. Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
I like both shouts of Dibbling and Mikuatse. I think Ndidi would have been a decent shout. I do think he's a little bit past it, though, is all I will say. I am going to go with... This is tricky. Yeah, but the thing is, Matt, I task you all with finding one player that each Premier League team needs to sign, not one player each Premier League team had signed already. Or basically...
But they haven't signed him.
I know they haven't.
But they haven't
but
signed him.
But it's happening, isn't it?
The only fair thing to
Well,
do here
that's true,
between
that's
me
true.
and Kyle is rock, paper, scissors.
No,
Because-
I
Just
disagree.
give both of us a point.
I think that I'm gonna go, because yes, he hasn't actually signed. I'm gonna go with Dibbling. I think Dibbling's the best shout there, quite comfortably. I know you
Kyle, we need to rebel against
I
this. It's
can't
crazy.
believe that.
It's not
This is
good.
an outrage.
you would have had a point each either way. So that was where my brain was going with the point system.
You sure you don't want Diddy on loan from? I'm really sure.
Oh, shit.
Right, so
We
we're
start a protest.
on to our 10th team, and we will have a break after this. It's Fulham. Only a humble £500,000 has been spent by Fulham so far on goalkeeper Benjamin Lecomte, flying in from Montpellier. But other than that, niche. That's it. That's all they've done. So who does Marco Silva target ahead of the new campaign? 30 seconds. We'll go with Kyle. Let's go.
When reading a few articles, I saw that they were linked with Lookman returning in a swap deal with Rodrigo Muniz, who only scored 8 goals in 31 appearances for Fulham last season, which it's not bad, not great. And yeah, the same points that I said with Villa, with Lookman. 59 chances created across the season, ranks him 3rd in the league. And he's just came on leaps and bounds since he left Fulham for the Serie A a few seasons ago.
Okay. Charlie?
I've gone slightly differently. I think they're really light in midfield. I've always thought this about them since Palhinha left. But having Berger and Lukic as your 2 starting centre-mids, I don't think Sasa Lukic is a good player at all. I've gone with Mady Camara from Brest, everyone's favourite French team, of course. 27 years old later this month. I think he's been a shining light in that Brest team that have really come out of nowhere. And he's got some great stats. 0.88 chances per 90. Guys, how old are we? Come on.
You sound like Mika Richards, that's all.
1.35 tackles and 5.5 duels won in each game. He can defend too. I think he's a really, really good footballer. And also, very cheap. I think you could genuinely get him for like 10 to 15 million pounds, euros. Yeah, I think that'd be a really good signing, Mady Camara.
A standout signing from Brest.
He just said that he doesn't rate Lukic. I think Lukic
Yeah, no,
is a
I know.
really good footballer.
I think
He's
he-
okay. I think he's bang
I think
average.
he's so
I think
average.
he's really good.
I think he's okay. I don't think
He's not
incredible.
bad, he's not
I think
good,
I don't think
but-
he's bad though. Sam, let's go to you. Are we going to continue focusing on Brest, or are we going to move on?
No, we're not going to look at breasts anymore.
Oh,
I have gone. So what? That's answered your question. So from my research, I seem to have found that they need a winger. So I went for Ben Doak from Liverpool. I think it makes sense because Liverpool have just signed Ekitike. They've got Diaz. They've not got Diaz anymore. They've got. They're going to bring in Isak possibly and move Ekitike out wide. I don't see a place for Ben Doak in the team. So whether that's on loan or as permanent, probably more likely a permanent, I would go for Ben Doak. I think he's been really impressive in the Championship and for Northern Ireland or Northern Ireland, yeah. So
I've got to see the
It's
countdown.
Scottish, isn't it?
Scotland, yeah,
Scottish.
Scotland.
Okay.
Very nice shout. And finally,
yeah.
for Fulham, Matt, who have you got?
I think their midfield lacks a bit of presence and build-up. Obviously, Burge isn't great in build-up, hence why he doesn't really get involved. So I've gone with a mix of physicality and technical ability in Ivan Ilic from Torino. I saw a bit of him last year, really, really impressive. He's, as I say, very strong in duel winning, physical, and as I say, very, very technical. He's got a nice first touch on him, good in the air, and I think he's just a perfect Premier League player. They bought the wrong Serbian from Torino, in fact, with Lukic.
Nice argument, nice player. I am going to. I think this is quite an easy one for me to choose. I like the shout of Kamara from Brest. I like the shout of Lookman and Ilic. I like all of them, to be fair. But when I think of all of these players and think about who would fit in best at Fulham, the answer is Doak. So
No, when he said that, I was like, yeah, fair play.
a very nice shout.
It just makes sense. It's such a Fulham signing.
It
Yeah,
is,
it
I
really is.
100% agree.
It's
So,
very Harry Wilson-esque. It's like when he moved from Liverpool.
so at the halfway mark, the scores stand: Kyle with 1, Sam with 2. It's actually Sam with 3. Sorry, I accidentally gave that point to Matt. Let's take that off. Matt with 3, and nice try, buddy. And Charlie with 3 as well. So it's all square, other than Kyle, going into the second half.
Well, I mean, when you bring Fraser Forster to the table, what do you expect?
I've got Calvert-Lewin.
He's a free agent.
I think
Come on.
I said Burnley should sign Mbappe, and I said Ndidi. He's like, he's already gone.
Well,
you
yeah,
just
at least
had a
Ben
couple of
Doak's
very
not a
good
six
shouts.
us.
Anyway, let's take a quick break and then we will come back with the second half of the table. So after that little break, we have discussed and we think it's best to break these into 2 videos. So thank you so much for listening to More of a Six. Thank you from all of us. It was a really fun first 10 teams. We will be back very soon with the rest. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars, whichever platform you're listening or watching on, and have a lovely rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day you are listening. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.